The Taliban is gearing up to install its government now, but the world is still struggling to come to terms with what's happening in Afghanistan. Once again, this morning, thousands of Afghans swarmed the Kabul International Airport. The flights resumed today, but many Afghans still cannot get out. And that has not stopped more people from coming to the airport. In fact, they are resorting to extreme measures to try and get inside. Look at this video. These Afghans climbed a wall to try and get inside the airport. The chaos in Kabul is even visible to satellites now. These images were taken on Monday. They show how crowded the Kabul airport was yesterday. Afghanistan is plunging into darkness. No one knows what lies ahead for the Afghans. But what we can say with certainty is this: the Taliban is now firmly back in control of Afghanistan. Just a short while back, we heard the Taliban leaders laying out their agenda. They have spread out across the streets of Kabul. They have seized police vehicles and Humvees that were operated by the local police. The Taliban has set up checkpoints. They have been directing traffic. Reports say that some Taliban members have also visited the homes of government officials and confiscated their possessions and their vehicles. The sudden exit of Ashraf Ghani has also led to this quick collapse of the entire administration in Kabul. The Russians have now levied a serious charge against the former president. One of the officials at the Russian embassy in Kabul has made a major claim. The official said that Ghani fled Afghanistan in a helicopter stuffed with cash. Another report claims that Ashraf Ghani had so much cash that some of it had to be left on the tarmac. The world is yet to hear from the former Afghan president. He is yet to respond to these charges. While in Kabul, the Taliban is taking steps towards government formation. Reports claim senior members of the Taliban have opened conversations with some prominent Afghan politicians. This includes former President Hamid Karzai and Abdullah, the former head of the High Council for National Reconciliation. Both of them stayed in Afghanistan and they are now talking with the Taliban. Reports say the Taliban has already held several rounds of talks with the political leadership in Kabul, and at least one round of talks went on through the night. There is no doubt that the future government will be dominated by the Taliban, but the ongoing discussions indicate that some non-Taliban members could be brought in for the sake of appearance. The Taliban wants international recognition, so they could retain some politicians to appear inclusive. So after the Afghan forces, will the politicians of Afghanistan submit to the wishes of the Taliban? Will no one challenge the Taliban now? One man could lead the pushback against the Taliban: Vice President Amrullah Saleh. He put out this tweet today. Saleh claims he is the legitimate caretaker president of Afghanistan. Since the fall of Kabul, Saleh has gone underground. He refused to surrender. Saleh says he is in Afghanistan and that he is reaching out to all the leaders. Saleh, in fact, has been seen with the son of anti-Taliban fighter Ahmad Shah Massoud. Since then, many have speculated that Saleh could be piecing together an armed resistance against the Taliban. It remains to be seen how he would be going about doing that. Meanwhile, the Taliban is going ahead with its plans to install its own political leadership. The Taliban announced a general amnesty for all government workers, including women. No specifics were shared. A statement was issued. It said that government workers should resume work without fear.
The Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, with full dignity and honesty, has announced a complete amnesty for all Afghanistan, especially those who were with the opposition or supported the occupiers for years and recently.
The Taliban made all the right noises at the press conference that they addressed as well, saying that they want an inclusive government and they don't want any enemies inside or outside. The Taliban says women should remain in government as well and they will be given all the rights. The Taliban has made promises before. Earlier, it wanted a peaceful settlement, a negotiated peace deal with the civilian government, but they stalled the dialogue. And this weekend, they took Kabul under the shadow of the gun. And now it could be giving terrorists a safe haven in Kabul. A report today claimed that a large number of terrorists have entered the Afghan capital. This includes members of the Islamic State, the Jaish-e-Mohammed and the Lashkar-e-Toiba. Earlier, we told you how Pakistan-based groups are supplying terrorists to the Taliban for their offensive. Now, reports say terrorists from these same groups have entered Kabul while carrying the flag of the Taliban. India realizes the Taliban cannot be taken at their word. The Indian government has now shut its embassy in Kabul. More than 190 Indians have now been brought back. Over 40 of them came back on an earlier flight. Today, a special Indian Air Force aircraft brought back 150 Indians. This included 130 Indian diplomats, around 20 Indian citizens who were stranded in Afghanistan. This is the second time India has shut its mission in Kabul. The last time such an evacuation was carried out was in 1996, when the Taliban had come to power for the first time. India is also taking steps to help out Afghans at this hour of crisis. Today, New Delhi announced a new category of e-visas for Afghans. These visas will be valid for 6 months and the applications will be fast-tracked. The United States withdrew from Afghanistan without a solid plan. They did not anticipate the Taliban's offensive. The Americans even failed to accurately predict the speed of the Taliban's offensive on the ground. Not just Afghanistan, the entire region now is paying a heavy price for America's mistakes. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.